today's battle, we have Mono Blue Tron versus Mono Black Aggro. The Mono Blue Tron deck uses the Urza lands to generate a lot of mana in a very short time. It can generate up to 7 mana by turn 3, which is amazing. It then uses a whole bunch of tutoring abilities to look for the win conditions or the game conditions that it needs, searching for cards like Wormcoil Engine, Platinum Angel, or Mindslaver to get the win conditions that it needs. This deck can be built for a relatively low budget of under $200, which is pretty good for Modern. Mono Black Aggro deck relies on a whole bunch of cheap and fast black creatures that can help to pump each other or add different abilities to make themselves more effective. This deck has a very straightforward manner of playing, just putting out creatures and attacking aggressively. This deck is very effective and can be built at a very, very low cost, especially in light of the fact that it's modern. In total, this deck can be built for about $30. Okay, so we've rolled, and Blue Tron is going first. Now, I think that's an advantage for Tron because it's going to want to go first to make Black respond to it rather than the other way around. Okay, so let's see what the draw is going to look like here. Expedition map, Urza's Power Plant, Platinum Angel, Treasure Mage, Island, Urza's Tower, and another island. That's almost a perfect hand. You can't really ask for much more. Now, the Platinum Angel might be a little too much to have at first. I would rather have the Mind to complete the Urza lands, but I wouldn't mulligan. That's actually a really good pull. Okay, so let's see what Black Aggro is going to get out of this here. Okay, so let's see, that's a Brutal Horde Chief. Painseer. Okay, a Mardu Shadow Spear, Swamp, 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 and a Foul Tongue Shriek. Alright, that was the first card. Okay, again, that actually looks pretty good too. You've got cards you can play all around. Maybe a little too much land, but I wouldn't go mulligan to 6 just to get rid of a land and hope for something better. Like, either way you're going to lose that land, so I would just keep it. Okay, so we'll see Tron play first, and I suspect Tron will just play one of the Tron lands and try and get the Expedition map out first so it can then search for other lands later. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, okay, so there comes Urza's Tower, the Expedition map as expected. Okay, on the next turn it's going to want to sack Expedition map and look for the third Tron land it needs to do to complete the Tron. Okay, once it gets Tron, it can then generate 7 mana, and that would be on turn 3, which is just amazing. Okay, so Black Aggro is going to play Swamp, tap, and throw out the... Okay, on the... Okay, so throwing out the... one of their 1/1s there. Now this one actually has a dash ability, but it's not going to be used here. We're just trying to get out and be as aggressive as possible. The Black Aggro deck really doesn't want the opponent to be able to build up any defenses, so it has to come out as soon as it can. And really, you're going to try and use Painseer and other cards like that to build up a huge offense. Okay, so there we go. The power plant is in, sacrificing the Expedition map. Okay, searching in the library right now. As I said, they're going to search for the Mine, and that's going to allow it to complete the Tron, and so the Mine will go into a hand, and then on next turn they can complete the Tron. It's revealed. Okay, there's a shuffle, and then they're going to have to pass their turn. Now this is going to open them up to an attack, but it's only on a 1/1, or it's going to do 2 damage. It's not a huge deal. Let's see what Black Aggro does here. Okay, so untapping, draw, Obelisk of Erd. Now that's a good card to have, especially because it can convoke. It gives all of your creatures +2/+2, but well, all the creatures of a certain type. Now the problem with that is that it's a pretty big mana cost, and you can't get it out extremely quickly. It's probably going to come out on turn 3 or 4, but that's okay because we still have Painseer, which can come out right now. Now, Painseer is a good card to have because it allows you to tutor almost like a Dark Confidant, but it has to become untapped, which means it has to attack in order to do it, or get tapped in some other way. Okay, it can't be attacking right now because it has Summoning Sickness. Okay, so Mardu Shadowsphere is going to be attacking, and it does 1 damage, but whenever it attacks, it automatically does 1 damage in addition to its combat damage. Okay, so Tron went down to 18, and we are drawing an island. Okay, 3 islands in hand. That's not great, but it's okay. You're going to see. Okay, so you have the mines coming out. Okay, so now we've got all 3, and now we can generate 7 mana. Okay, and with that 7 mana, let's see. Okay, we're playing Platinum Angel. Okay, now Platinum Angel is kind of a killer card. Basically what it says is that you can't win the game, or you can't lose the game, and your opponent can't win the game. So it's kind of deadly if your opponent doesn't have the right removal for it. It's also a flyer, so unless your opponent has flying creatures, it's also unblockable. So Black Aggro is going to have a really hard time dealing with this 4/4. Alright, so 4/4 flyer. Even if you go to 0 health, you still don't lose the game. Basically, you can't lose while this thing is in play. So Black Aggro is going to want to do something to try and get rid of this. Okay. Even now, it can't attack. Well, it could, but it's not really a good idea, because if it attacks, the Platinum Angel can block either one of these without dying. And what will happen is it'll try and block the Painseer, so the Painseer can't become tapped, and then you lose your card draw advantage. If you attack with just one of them, then probably a Mardu Shadowsphere, then nothing will just block it and kill it, and nothing happens. Okay, so let's see. Drew a Talisman of Progress on this side, playing an island. Okay, so you can get that blue mana out. Okay, tapping for 3, and I'm going to play Treasure Mage. Okay, and now Treasure Mage comes onto the field and allows Blue Tron to tutor for a card. Now, Treasure Mage is another great card because it's a 2/2, which can block the Shadowspear and also the Painseer. So right now, Blue Tron has been able to match Black Aggro's aggroing, in addition to having control elements and also this tutoring that's going on, massive amounts of mana. Right, so right now, tutoring for a card. Okay. Now there's some choices. It could pull out a Sundering Titan, could pull out a Mindslaver, or a Wormcoil Engine, or something like that. Wormcoil Engine. Okay. Wormcoil Engine so basically means that now Blue Tron's elected to go straight up aggro. Okay. With a Mindslaver, later on you'd be looking for something like an Academy Ruins to get a Mindslaver lock, which is essentially kind of like an infinite combo that will allow you to lock down your opponent and take his turn. Eventually, what will happen is that you'll just mill your opponent out, or you'll just do stuff that makes it so they can never block, and then you just kill them. Okay, using the rest of the mana to play a Talisman of Progress, so that's just even more mana coming out. Okay, so you'll see that Wormcoil Engine come out next turn. Okay, Wormcoil Engine's deadly. It's a 6/6, and with Lifelink and Death Touch, and when it dies, it turns into 2 3/3 worms, one with Lifelink and one with Death Touch. It's just a killer. Okay, so let's see, Black Aggro is going to come in, and let's see, it's drawing, drew another island, or another swamp. Okay, so I might as well just play that same swamp. Okay, so tapping for 4, and they're going to play Brutal Horde Chief. Now, Brutal Horde Chief actually has an ability, but it relies on white mana to have it. Since this is mono black to keep the budget down, Brutal Horde Chief can't activate that ability. But still, it's a good card to have out. Let's just see here what's going to happen. I still don't think anything can happen. Okay, if they attack, essentially what will happen now is that Treasure Mage will block the Painseer, and Painseer won't be able to untap because it'll get killed, and then it'll just then you'll lose the ability. And yeah, you might do a little bit of damage, but right now the main goal is to try and get rid of that Platinum Angel. If you can't get rid of that Platinum Angel, then you're kind of screwed. Okay, so drew another Treasure Mage. That's bad news for for Black Aggro, even though it wouldn't know it. Okay, paying another power plant. Okay, tapping for 3. Okay, Treasure Mage is coming out. Okay, and now they're going to search for yet another artifact. Okay, and see what's going to come out. Maybe another Wormcoil Engine. Maybe, as I said, a Mindslaver to try and get a Mindslaver lock. I can't see a Sundering Titan coming out. There's Mindslaver. Okay, and shuffling the deck. Mindslaver's going in hand. Okay, I wouldn't put a Sundering Titan out right now because you have to destroy lands of all types, and you really don't want to destroy your island. So I would just leave it. Alright, so let's see. You still got tons of mana. Okay, you can see Blue Tron already is poised with its great position on the board, has an enormous board presence with tons of mana, has several win conditions available, like 3 right here, one with Platinum Angel, one with Wormcoil Engine, one with Mindslaver. Okay, so tap, 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 and okay, get some room out here, and Wormcoil Engine's coming out. Okay, has Summoning Sickness along with Treasure Mage, so just attacking with only Platinum Angel, going down to 12 for Black Aggro. Okay, so let's see. Black Aggro is kind of in trouble here. There's not really a lot it can do because of the board presence there. Okay, what it really needs is some good removal. Unfortunately, the removal that Black Aggro has is stuff like Bile Blight and stuff like that, where it's not really great. Okay, so Blood Chin Ranger came out. Now, Blood Chin Ranger is actually pretty good because it requires your opponent now to block with 2 creatures at once. Right, so that might be a good card to bring out, although I don't know, I still think that unless you can't deal with that Platinum Angel, there's just nothing you can do. Okay, so let's see, we're going to tap. Okay, tapping, I think they're going to tap all 5 and then Convoke. Yeah, they're going to tap Painseer, okay, to Convoke for the Obelisk of Erd. That's going to allow them to take advantage of Painseer's card draw without having to attack to get them tapped. That's actually pretty smart. Right, so we're going to use Convoke to tap the Painseer. When Painseer untaps next turn, it's going to allow them to draw a card. It's just going to generate a little bit of card advantage. Okay, they're going to declare Warriors as their card type, and all Warriors will get +2/+2. And then hopefully they'll get something good, and on the next turn, they can pull out a Blood Chin Rager and get everyone to get some good aggro going here. Okay, so it's back to Tron's turn. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, Tron. Let's see. Untapping. Okay, we're going to draw. Condescend. Okay, so now Tron even has some more control going on. Okay, and let's see, we're going to tap. You'll probably see the Mindslaver come out. Now, there's no real point in putting Mindslaver out right now, okay, but it still might want to get it out just to use up the mana. Mainly because without the Academy Ruins, Mindslaver can't do anything. Right, so, well, it can, but it's just not, you can't get him into a lock, so it's not really that great. It's not going to be your win condition. Okay, so, still, I guess it's okay to have it out. You should see a bigger attack here, try and force the issue. Here, so you see Platinum Angel attacking. Okay, Wormcoil Engine, looks like it's going to attack. Okay, and I think that's it. Okay, so that's looking for 10 damage in one turn. I think that they're going to have to do some blocking here. Okay. Okay, so Black Aggro, let's see, they're going to have to do some blocking. Okay, so blocking with Brutal Horde Chief. And then blocking with Mardu Shadow Spear, so blocking them together. Okay, now I believe that's going to kill them both. Okay, but it'll also kill the Wormcoil Engine. Still, what it's going to do, I think that's kind of a misplay. I think they should have chump blocked. Mainly because once you kill that Worm Coil engine, it's going to split into 2 other smaller worm tokens. And then what's going to happen is that when you put your Bloodshed Ranger, that's going to allow them to do more blocking because you have just more creatures. Okay, and really those are kind of expendable because one has Death Touch, the other one has Lifelink. So they're both really powerful 3/3s when it splits. Okay, so I think that was a mistake. And you can see Tron just gained up a whole bunch of life. Okay, and Black Aggro is going to lose some life from the Platinum Angel. So I think it was a mistake. Yeah, here comes the worm tokens. I think what they should have done is just chomped with the Mardu Shadow Spear, and then allowed that to come out, like just to keep playing as a 1/6/6, and then hopefully try and find some other removal for it later, or maybe on another turn, chump block it with something else and play a Foul Tongue Shriek and kill it. Alright, still, I think Blue Tron's in some serious trouble right now. Or not Blue Tron, Black Aggro's in some serious trouble. Blue Tron's just got an enormous board presence. Alright, and an enormous life count too. Okay, so 24 to 8 as far as the life totals. That's just killer. Okay, so untapped. Okay, so got a Bloodsoaked Champion. That's a great pick. As a 1 mana, that's an amazing 1 mana card, and I would gladly pay 1 life for that. So, okay, so untapped, got Bloodsoaked Champion coming out. Okay, so they're playing Bloodshed Ranger, Bloodsoaked Champion. Okay, got 3 guys out. Okay, let's see. Okay, now there's not really a lot they can do right here. Again, if they attack, then they're just going to get all blocked. Although they can only block... Tron can't do that much blocking. Okay, pass the turn. So, untap. Okay. Remand. Okay. Okay, so now Remand is actually a pretty good card now because it allows you to stop anything, any tricks that Black Aggro is going to have. Okay, still, let's see what's going to happen here. I would rather have had an Academy Ruins and just lock out my opponent and then just win the game like that, but I would just take it too. Okay, so attacking with Platinum Angel, going to leave everything else open for blocking. Okay, it brings him down to 3 life. I think Tron could have played this better. I think they could have gone for a more aggressive attack and forced the opponents to chump block all their 1/1s away. Okay, Dictate of Erebos, that's actually a really great card. Because it says when your opponent dies, when your creatures die, your opponent has to sacrifice a creature. That's actually a really good one because if you can eliminate some of those other creatures, you could force Tron to sacrifice its Platinum Angel, give yourself a chance to win. Okay, so all-out attack. Tron can only block each creature with 2 of its own creatures. Okay, we'll see what happens here. Okay, there's also some life gain that happens with Dictate of Erebos if they choose to play it. Okay, so Tron's falling for this trick. Okay, so blocking. Okay, now it's only other warriors that need 2 to block. So the Painseer can be blocked with 1. Okay. Now, do you block Bloodsoaked Champion or do you block Bloodshed Rager? Okay, I would do the Rager, just because the Bloodsoaked Champion has the ability to be brought back from the graveyard anyway. So if you kill him, there's late game right now, so they've got tons of mana. You can just bring him back, and it's not really a big deal for Black Aggro to lose that card. But to lose that Rager is going to be more difficult. Oh, okay, they want to block the Rager, the Bloodsoaked Champion, but they can't because they don't have 2 cards to block him with. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Okay, so when this resolves, okay, there's going to be a lot of death here. Treasure Mage is going to go. Painseer is going to go. Bloodshed Rager is going to go. Other Treasure Mage is going to go. Oh, tapping. Okay, Foul Tongue Shriek's coming out. Okay. I'm going to apply that to probably that worm. Okay, like I said, they're going to need to try and clean up the whole board here and force Tron to destroy to sacrifice the Platinum Angel. I don't know if it's going to happen though. I don't think so. Okay, so tap, tap, tap. Okay, Dictate of Erebos has come out. Okay, now when the rest of the combat resolves, let's see what happens here. Okay, so Bloodchain Ranger dies. Okay, Treasure Mage died. Painseer's dead. Other Treasure Mage is dead. Okay, that worm token should be dead too. Okay, or maybe not, unless they did the Foul Tongue Shriek on something else. Nope. Okay, didn't die. Okay. So then they lost two. So they lost 2 creatures. And basically have to sacrifice 2. So Tron's got to sacrifice 2 creatures, and it can sacrifice both of those worms. Okay, almost worked out. Okay, so Tron is going to have to sacrifice 2 worms. Now, they could sacrifice the Platinum Angel if they want, but they'd be just stupid to do that. Essentially, they can't lose the game while they still have that Platinum Angel, so you should just try and keep that and protect it forever. Okay, now, I think Tron also did a misplay here. They could have played a remand and remanded the Dictate of Erebos and put that back in their opponent's hand, in which case they would have lost all their creatures for really nothing. Right? Without the sacrifice, you'd still have a huge board presence. Oh, they just top-decked another Wormcoil Engine. Okay, so once you top-deck the Wormcoil Engine, I think that's it, and I think, yeah, Blue's just scooped, Black Aggro just scooped, and Tron wins. Okay, so in summary, Tron's able to generate tons of mana super quickly if it gets the right cards out. That's a huge advantage that you can't really ignore. Black Aggro came out fairly strong, but just had no answers to Platinum Angel and really no answers to Wormcoil Engine. It's actually, when you consider it though, it was a fairly competitive match, especially in light of the budgets, in light of the fact that the Tron deck is like 6 times more expensive than Black Aggro. Black Aggro was actually extremely competitive and could have won.